Good morning, Internet. Today I will be giving you an overview of ESL Pro League Season 16 Group C with my thoughts and opinions on which games to prioritize over others. As usual, this video will not be too heavy on the score predictions, although there are some, but for more accurate predictions you can follow me on Twitter at Casual Strike, which is where I give you the updates on what I think happens during the games on the game day itself. The overall structure of the tournament I go through in my Group A video, so if you want to refresh your memory, you can check the video link down below. That being said, let's get going. ESL Pro League Season 16 Group C is played between Wednesday 14th and Sunday 18th of September. The teams taking part in Group C are ENS, Heroic, Astralis, Mouse, Complexity and Heat. On paper, the teams of Group C might not look that exciting compared to our previous groups, and only one of the above mentioned teams are placed in the HLTV rankings top 10, Astralis. This could have changed after this video was recorded, since the rankings tend to update each Monday, but even if some shifts have happened, my point still stands. Despite the ranking of each team, I personally find this group to be one of the more difficult ones to predict. ENS has just recently obtained Sanpeias and Valde, replacing Sphinx and Hades. Heroic and Astralis disappointed in Blastfall groups, Mouse is looking to make a statement, Complexity is looking to be a threat in Tier 1 CS, and Heat is trying to bring back some Friends magic. Taking all that in consideration, I think this group is anyone's group to take, and any of the teams can surprise any other team, which in my books is perfect for us Counter-Strike fans. When there are no clear favorites, and when each team needs to prove themselves before the RMR and major cycle gets properly going, each team needs all the practice they can get. So advancing and doing well would be a huge confidence boost, while bombing out in groups could mean a long break before RMR qualifiers. Safe to say, stakes are high and each game counts. Simply for this reason, I suspect Group C to be worth your time, and each game has potential to be entertaining and good CS to watch. However, since saying watch what you want is not a solid advice in the spirit of the channel, I'll be going over each matchup and try to give you my thoughts in regards of them. Ready? Let's go. Wednesday 14th, Mouse Heroic, 12:30 PM, 12:30 UTC plus 2. First game of the group is an interesting one. Heroic seems to be a team that starts their tournament stronger than finishes them, so a similar pattern might be present in their EPL run. On the other hand, Mouse beat Heroic in their last game during EM Cologne, but this was a long time ago. Mouse has not been playing Tier 1 opponents in roughly 2 months, so it is hard to say whether they come in rusty or well prepared. Despite its uncertainty, I think this game is worth a watch if you have time, but not a high priority to take time off for. Complexity Astralis 4 PM 16:00 UTC plus 2. On paper, Astralis should not even break sweat against Complexity here. However, if we take in consideration the poor showing of Astralis during the RMR qualifiers and the surprise potential of Complexity, there is some real upset potential. Complexity managed to beat Navi in a best of one during Blastfall groups, while Astralis had real struggle advancing through the ones in their RMR qualifier. If this game was a best of one, I think we'd see Complexity surprise Astralis. In a best of three, however, I think this game should be an easy win for Astralis. Lots of potential, but unlikely going to be the best game of the day. ENS Heat 7:30 PM 19:30 UTC plus 2. ENS has not had any official games in over 2 months, and during this time they have acquired 2 new players. Sanpeias and Valde have replaced Sphinx and Hades, so it will be interesting to see what ENS has to show. It is clear that they want to start strong with their new roster, and it would be important to get all the practice they can before RMR. Heat, on the other hand, is trying to solidify their French roster and get all the preparation they can for RMR. Heat is a clear underdog, but given ENS's new roster, I suspect Heat coming in hot, wanting to take ENS by surprise. I suspect this game to be an entertaining one, so if you got no other plans for Wednesday evening, you should give this game a go. Thursday 15th. Astralis, Mouse, 12:30 PM, 12:30 UTC plus 2. This game has very similar situation to yesterday's game for both of the teams. Astralis is the favorite trying to find consistency, while Mouse is the underdog trying to make a statement. Astralis being the favorite can play in Mouse bucket, since the pressure scale is tipping towards Astralis. If you happen to be on a lunch break or waking up with your coffee while the game is on, I would recommend giving it a go. There is a potential for a dream-up series and those are always fun to watch. Complexity, Heat, 4 p.m. 16:00 UTC plus 2. Second game of the day puts two underdogs of Group C against one another. It is hard to say which team has the edge over the other, so we might end up seeing my favorite kind of CS to watch: scrappy and ugly CS. Neither team is where they would like to be, and taking a scalp here would at least show they are not the bottom team of the group. This kind of victory would be an important mental victory for both teams, so I expect this game to deliver. Ends Heroic, 7:30 p.m. 19:30 UTC plus 2. Thursday evening concludes with a banger. Ends and Heroic have not faced one another in quite some while, and most likely both teams know they are expected to advance. Winning over another top 3 favorite of the group is a great way to solidify your position as a consistent and dangerous team, which is a status neither team can say they have quite achieved on a consistent level. Heroic is ever so dangerous team, which has struggled on lands, while Ents started the year as a consistent playoff-reaching team that often fell on their face when the finish line was on sight. This game gets my casual recommendation. Friday, 16th. Astralis Heat, 12:30 p.m. 12:30 UTC plus 2. Friday starts with Heat going on a revenge against Astralis, who beat them in Aramar qualifier. Heat is likely looking to surprise Astralis, but most likely this game won't be too much of a struggle for Astralis' side. Not a game I would be sad to miss, despite its potential. Heroic Complexity, 4 p.m. 16:00 UTC plus 2. Second game of the day is not exactly the most exciting one. Complexity has not been showing too much promise against the EU teams, and likely this won't be any different. Heroic should take care of the business quickly, and all Complexity has going for them is the element of surprise, which is hard to pull off in a best of 3. Ends Mouse, 7:30 p.m. 19:30 UTC plus 2. Friday evening ends up with a banger. Both teams have been without much action lately, and therefore both teams want to take the victory over the another here. If Mouse is off to a good start, there's a world where Ents is left gasping for air, not knowing what hit them. On the other hand, if Ents is feeling their new roster, Mouse could be in trouble. In my eyes, this is anyone's game, and those are games worth watching. Saturday 17th. Heroic, Heat, 12:30 p.m. 12:30 UTC plus 2. Saturday starts like Friday. Heat going against the Danish powerhouse, which today happens to be Heroic. Most likely Heroic will make swift work of Heat, but as mentioned earlier, in this group anything is possible. Just don't go in expecting this to be an exciting match, and you can only be surprised positively. Complexity, Mouse, 4 p.m. 16:00 UTC plus 2. Complexity most likely has not had a great start to the tournament, so taking a scalp of Mouse would be a victory for the squad. At the same time, Mouse is likely not wanting to give anything away, as they should be in contention of a top 3 position. Potential for an interesting game, though hard to say if it will deliver. Ends Astralis, 7:30 p.m. 19:30 UTC plus 2. Saturday concludes with a banger. Ents has now had some time to practice with their new roster, and if things are looking good for the team, Astralis will not be having an easy game against Ents. It is hard to say who might take this game, but most likely both teams have hunger to take the 3 points here. Those points might have a decisive factor on which teams have a chance to advance on Sunday. A game I would definitely give a go. Sunday 18th. As always, Sunday games are all played at the same time, 7:30 p.m. 19:30 UTC plus 2. The games are played between Heroic Astralis, Ents Complexity, and Mouse Heat. Each of the games have potential to be high stakes game, as we don't yet know who has the chance to advance. However, this time I will be giving you a bit of a different advice. While watching a game with the highest stake is still a solid choice, I would recommend watching Heroic Astralis. Clashes between the Danish powerhouses are never disappointing, and the stakes are higher than just advancing the playoffs. It's all about being the number 1 team of Denmark. A best of 3 between these two teams is always a game worth watching, and emotions are likely running high. Cadian has the tendency to get very vocal against Astralis, which can get under the skin of Glaive. All in all, the game has the highest chance of being an entertaining game, no matter the group standings. When there's only one game to watch from these 3 options, a game between Heroic and Astralis is my go-to game. I hope this video has been useful for you, and that you have enjoyed your stay. In case you liked the video, feel free to leave a like or a comment down below. In case you didn't like the video, please let me know by commenting or disliking the video. If you want more content like this, be sure to subscribe and tune in next week for the Group D overview. Until then, enjoy the tournament.